Well, hello, my darlings, and how are you? How are you today? How is everything? I'm going to just alter the speaker thing around here. Pardon me. Yes, well, there you have it. Let me have a look and make sure that this is working. It says it's recording, so I'm going to go with that. Playing around with this little setup here, which is a bit disconcerting, but never mind. And I've got my cards today. I promised last week that I'd do a reading, a general reading on everything. And time we did the interview, in all the flurry of it, I forgot. But anyway, welcome, my darlings. Welcome to Your Life, Your Choice. And I think we might talk a little bit about that today. What does that mean? What does your life, your choice mean? And, where are we going with all this? And I'd certainly like to be doing some more readings. I'm going to do, pick out some people and maybe do just some one card readings again, starting from next week. So if you come in and join, leave comments below, then we'll be able to do that. I'll be able to pick out some names and just do some one card readings. So I'd like to do that. I want to say welcome to all of you, whoever you are and wherever you are in the world. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for being present. Thank you for supporting me. And while we're on the whole thing about support, before I go any further, if you'd like to hit the subscribe button and become a subscriber, that would be most helpful. That's what makes all the difference to these algorithmy things and all the stuff that goes on. So if you could hit the like button and also subscribe, that would be wonderful. Of course, leave comments. Now, the excuse me. Oh, I took a tablet this morning for my for my sinuses, and yep, you can tell it's kicked in, not. But anyway, sorry about that, darlings. Oh God, went into a little bit of a coughing fit there. So excuse me for my for my nasal stuff and all the don't know, but we've had quite a bit of wind here in Melbourne, in Australia, and I'm no good with wind. The wind makes me ratty, and it definitely absolutely stirs up my sinuses, drives me crackers. But anyway, we won't go into that, will we, darling? I just want to make sure that I stick to some decent timing today. Don't drive you nuts. Got the cards out. As I said, I'm going to do a general reading on a couple of things. Things have been coming this week. There's some interesting things which I'll share with you in a few minutes. She didn't bring any water. Brought nothing with her to try and counteract some of this. Anyway, so this week has been very interesting. I've started my course with James Van Praagh. I'm not a long way into it, but I have begun, and I've been the other day I was doing, so I'm going to put this out there because that's what they're telling me. Okay, that's really interesting. So I'm going to give it to you, and if there's any feedback on it or anybody that relates or anything that's coming for anyone, please comment, because it'll be most helpful, because it was a little bit I wasn't quite sure why this particular individual came, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So James was doing, I was doing some of the modules, some of the work within the modules, and I closed my eyes that was earlier in the week, about midweek. I closed my eyes and a child came. I could feel her energy. I knew it was a child. It wasn't expected. It was quite out of the blue. And it took me back a bit, really. But anyway, this child came and I was sort of talking to her and I said, oh, so it was like I'd be talking to someone else to, as a verification, being able to, pardon me, get some verification on this actually happening or this person being there. So I said, like I was talking to people, I said, oh, I have a little girl, a child that's come. I said, little girl. I said, I think this little girl's about, and this is the important part for you, darlings, or perhaps somebody who's out there who can relate to this. And if you can, please make a comment because it'll be most helpful to me. But anyway, this little girl came and she was, I said, oh, this little girl is about, she's about 7 or 8, I think. Anyway, her voice came very clearly to me. And she said, and she was a real little, like a Shirley Temple little miss. And she said, no, I'm not. She said, I'm 9. Oh, I said, I do apologise. You're 9. Oh, okay then. So you're 9. And I couldn't see her face or her hair or her features. That didn't come in the time that this was happening. But what came very, very clearly was she had a little polka dot dress on. One of those little dresses that had, tulle petticoats underneath, bounces them out. Now that I think about it, it could have been a little dress for dancing or something, because the one thing I noticed was she had some white socks on and little black, what do they call them? Mary Jane shoes. And I noticed all of that. And I noticed that she had quite straight legs, like, not knobbly knees, or she had quite, I don't know, I kept noticing her legs, and there was this thing about her legs. And I didn't realise until after she went, and I didn't realise till right now when I'm talking, that I think the little dress and the things she had on were a little dancing costume. I think she loved dancing. She was a little dancer, now that I think about it. So if there's any of you can relate to her, then please, as I said, make a comment, because it lasted a little while and I didn't get through more and more because I was a bit of a loss as to who would identify with her. Why did she come? Who was she for? Because I was doing it just as, I was just doing this exercise when she came. But since then, the voice is saying, share it with your people, share that experience. So I'm not sure what that's about either, but that may well be that I need to share it with you because somebody will identify with that little girl, or yes, something. Okay, so that happened this week. It was a marvellous experience because it was unexpected and I just didn't, I just wasn't, I wasn't putting out, how can I explain it? I wasn't sort of in the frame of mind where I was going, oh, I'm going to be, channeling. I'm going to go into this. I'm going to put myself in a space where I'm going to be channeling. That wasn't it. I was doing the exercises. But anyway, this little girl came. So I've shared that with you. I want to say thank you to Mandy for having been on the show last week. Had some lovely comments. Mandy was marvellous. Love her. Love. Thank you to my friend Christy in Minnesota, who made some nice comments, who I have reached out to, and Christy is going to come on as a guest on the show. I'm lining up some more people. It's a little bit slow at the moment. I have been incredibly busy on, life's things, other things that have come up around me, which have kept me, hopping. I've been incredibly busy. Busy. I'm like, oh, whoa. But then on the other hand, better to be busy than not. So that's been, quite wonderful. I have been very, very busy. And I'm looking to be more busy. And I've dragged my feet a little bit. This video is a little bit late coming out this week, mainly because of that, because I've been so busy and I've been trying to get to it. Trying to get the time, trying to get the space for it too, because to do these videos, I need to have hopefully a bit of quietness and some time to do them. I need to have that space and time. Now, I want to do a little exercise today because the topic of today's video was about just two things. I call them hacks, manifesting hacks, because they're very easy, they're very quick. You don't have to, it's a good idea if you write them down, because it's better to get it out of here and onto paper, because there's magic in out of here, between here and here on the paper. So I am encouraging you to write down the outcome of the exercises, but they're simple, they're easy. They're not going to take a whole lot of your time, darlings. They're not going to be something that you have to go, oh, I want to do that. I'll just do it when I've got, this or this or this. It's simple stuff. And you don't have to, close your eyes and meditate. You don't have to, sit quietly to try, but it would help if you could sit a little bit quietly, because I think that's helpful in this particular instance. But it's not absolutely imperative or necessary. You don't have to. You can do it without that. So without further ado, if you're on this, well, then this is a good time for you to do it. So I'm going to give you a second or a minute to go and grab some paper, because I would like you to write them down. And if you want to share, you can share, but you don't have to either, because they might be, personal things, but it would be interesting to share, or you can do it, and then over time you could, give some feedback on how it's working out for you. I've manifested a lot of things this way, so I'm just sharing with you something that I do and have done, and I'm on this kick again now. I'm doing it in more earnest right now. So, okay, so I want you, have you got your bit of paper? Have you grabbed the bit of paper and a pen? I'm hearing you all say yes. Yes, I'm ready. Okay, so here's the first step. Step one. It's only 2 steps. They're very, very simple. And if you don't remember, go back and watch this video and get the steps. So step 1 is this. Say to yourself, wouldn't it be nice? Okay? So step 1, wouldn't it be nice? And write on your bit of paper what that is. All the things. Might be one thing, it might be 15 or 20 things. I don't know. You write it, it's your life, okay? Wouldn't it be nice if I could pay my mortgage off very quickly? Wouldn't it be nice if I could buy myself a new wardrobe of clothes? Wouldn't it be nice if I could get rid of the car that I've got and have a nice new one that I've seen and I'd really, really like? Wouldn't it be nice to go visit whoever in, in a country overseas? Or wouldn't it be nice? So that's your first one. And it's, wouldn't it be nice? And you choose, not, don't write what you think other people want or want you to have. It says you. Wouldn't it be nice if I could buy that piece of jewellery I saw in the shop? Wouldn't it be nice if I could buy those shoes I'd really love to have? Now, the trick here is I don't want you getting into how you're going to do it. That's not your business. That's Spirit's business. That's not your business. Your business is to say, wouldn't it be nice? And to write down what that wouldn't it be nice to have or do or whatever be. Okay, so you got that? That's step one. Now, step two in that is to say to yourself on each one of those things as you go through them, and this is what I do, and I'm suggesting to you to do, then you go through them. I've got quite a few on my list, and they're all relating to, financial areas. So stop at each one. Go to the first one. Wouldn't it be nice if I could pay my mortgage off in the next 12 months? Don't think about how, or start getting into, oh, no, that's ridiculous. Oh, where would I? That's not it. Wouldn't it be nice if I could pay my mortgage off in the next 12 months? How do I feel about that? Now, that's not to ask you about all those other stuff, but I want to know how you would feel achieving that. How would you feel being able to do that? How would you feel writing the check? How would you feel when you get the final discharge on and the bank or whoever it is that holds your mortgage says, tick, done, zero balance? How would you feel? And go through your list. The next one, what do you feel? Next one, what do you feel? I want you to keep doing that. I want you to pull out this list you've made and do it each day, just for a couple of minutes. Just pull it out, pick it up. Wouldn't it be nice if I could la, la, la? Oh, how do I feel about that? Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be, I'd feel, empowered. I'd feel fantastic. I'd feel like I'd really achieved something. I'd feel, just wow, I'd feel. So do that then. And give it time. Just give it time, but allow for it and believe in it. And just go, okay, I know what I want. I know how I feel about it. And then just move on. Move on with your life. Move on with doing your everyday things. Move on with things. In the belief in yourself that amazing and spectacular things happen. Miracles happen, things happen. And, life's a miracle. We happened. And we don't stop to think about those things. But I want you to think about it. I want you to think about how all that would feel. Okay? I want you to do that for me. That's my that's my input to you this week, and I want you to try that. I've got the cards in front of me and I'm shuffling them. And the thing that's kept coming this week to me, which is very, very interesting, I've been very interested lately. The book I'm reading at the moment is Dan Brown's Origin. I finished the other one, which some of you wonderful, gorgeous people, there was a lady who said that she had read it. I don't know how you others, whether you decided that you would get it and read it or whatever. Dan Brown's new book, Secret of Secrets. I don't know how it slipped through, but I hadn't read Origin, and I'm 3/4 of the way through the book. I hadn't long got it, but so I've been reading that as well. I want to do a reading today. This is an odd one, but I want to do a reading today on, and I'm going to, along with this, I'm going to pull out the prediction cards as well, because I'd like to shuffle those and have a look, just pull 3 of those over top of it. My head, darlings, my head says the whole thing around the Epstein files and those poor women, those women that were so badly abused by all those men, and this big cover-up that's been going on. And it's concerned me because in my head I've been going, oh, it'll be like all the other stuff that happens in America. Nobody ever seems to be bloody brought to justice, or nothing seems to happen around it. And I get myself into it, and then I get myself all upset about it. But I decided that I wouldn't do that. That's my, head speaking. But I wanted to go with the feelings, and I've had the feelings all along. And I'm not sure why it hasn't happened yet. But anyway, I've had the feelings all along, and I'm going to read on it. I've had the feelings all along that the victims would get sick and tired and fed up with all of the dragging of the feet and all the cover up and all the stuff that's going on. And they would start naming names. Although I believe the book that's just been released on the 21st, today's the 24th in Australia, I believe the book that's just been released by Virginia Giuffre doesn't give all the names, but she does give descriptions. And I'm not going to read the book because I think it'd be too disturbing for me. It's fairly graphic, apparently. But anyway, I'm hearing that it wouldn't be difficult to put names to the people that she talked, or to the men that she talked about. Okay, so, all right. Will the victims, that's my question, will the victims release the names? Will the victims release the names? Will they get fed up? Okay, all right. Very, very interesting card. 7 of Cups, the Moon card, the Knight of Cups, and Temperance. And I'm going to read them as they are, and then I'm going to lay the other cards over top. What I got when they first came out was there is definitely, absolutely a lot of discussions, and I'm feeling a division, okay? I'm feeling a division. I'm feeling that, yes, there's been a lot of thinking around it. I'm feeling that they're fed up. They do want to release it. They're being told to hold off. They're being told to hang on. just a little while longer before they do anything, to give other people and other people to give. I think their lawyers are involved in telling them. That's what I'm getting. The lawyers are involved in telling them to hold on, hang in there. They can do it at any time. There's nothing to stop them really from doing it, but hang in there and just allow, this committee to call for the release of all the files, to get all the files, not just the names from the victims, but the files, so that there's some more heavy hitting, is what they're giving me, some more heavy hitting around it, some more to give. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, that card's come out. I'm going to go with that. Okay, not surprising. Okay, yes. Okay, well, the cards that have come out, the prediction cards, are very interesting because it's just what I've been talking about. It's a sinking ship for those that are holding back on it, that, it's just time. It's just a matter of time. Those that are involved in it, those that are the perpetrators of it, they're all, let's call it, they're all on the Titanic. They're all on a sinking ship. Titanic was a good analogy, wasn't it, darlings? Because there was a lot of wealthy people on the Titanic. That was interesting. Okay, joined forces. Yes, absolutely. They have joined forces, not just with one another, but they've got a lot around them, a lot going on, and they have a lot of support, this support role. So it's not, I'm being told, it's not going to be swept under the carpet, as I had some fears around. It's not going to be swept under the carpet, and it is going to come out, and the files will be released, and what's the saying? And they'll be hell to pay when it happens. It feels like a storm is coming. A storm is brewing. I'm getting visions of this, like when you're looking out at the sea and you can see this storm brewing out and it's rolling in. That's what I'm getting. And so it is rolling in. Thank you for joining me, my darlings. Thank you for coming back. I'm still finding my feet in this. I'm still finding a way to bring forward things that I want to share with you, things that are happening around me. I want to keep you up to date on my course that I'm doing and the outcome of that and things that are going on around it. I want to still do some readings. I want to do that. Definitely, absolutely wanting to do a general reading of things that are going on. I don't want to go on and on and on about the whole political thing, but I do want to bring in a reading around it because it hangs about, and I get told things and I get feeling things. So I want to cover off on those. But anyway, if you've got things that you would like me to cover off on, things you'd like me to do, ideas, share them. I'm very open and allowing, and I'd like to hear, the sorts of things that you're thinking about. And, pardon me. subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get to 20,000 subscribers. That would be fabulous. Really, really appreciate you all. Love, love, love. When you go, I go with you. I do. I do. I do go with you. I cannot. It can't be anything else other than I go with you. And when I leave here, you go with me, and you must go with me, because you're my darlings, and your energies and everything about you goes with me when I leave, and becomes part of all that I do. Have a fabulous weekend. Have a fabulous rest of the week. And I'll see you next week. And hopefully I'll have a guest, as long as I can tie that guest down. But in the next week or so, we will have another guest on. We'll have another somebody to chat to. Thank you for joining me. Love, love, mwah, for me. And I'll see you next week on Your Life, Your Choice. Bye for now.